Today is October the 24th, 2021, and the message today is entitled Loving the Self as a Spiritual Principle and Practice. We open with a word of affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, and as you close your eyes, take a deep breath, allowing my words to be your words if you choose. We know that there is only one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence, that permeates all, that expresses is all, that creates all, and that also sustains all. And I know that this one power and presence is love. Love is the healing force. Love is the energy from which all things come. Love is the sustaining force that nurtures all of life. I know that I am safe in a loving universe. I know that all expressions of life are turning their countenance upon me, and I know that how I hold myself is how I am held. How I embrace myself is how I am embraced. Therefore, I choose to love myself and to express this love as self-care. I choose to live in a way that is in accord with this intention. I choose to take loving care of my body, to feed it nourishing foods and beverages, to move my body in loving ways, to maintain my body. I choose to express this with ease and to allow perfect health to be expressed within me. I choose now to cultivate serenity in my heart and to allow this serenity to overflow into my personal relationships as perfect harmony. I choose to see others as expressions of this one life, to know that we are always partaking of the same life. And so I choose to live in harmony with others, to free them to experience that which is meaningful for them, even as I create in my life that which I feel has meaning. I am totally at ease with myself, and I know that it is my life's work to learn to become more compassionate for myself, knowing that as I do this, I increase my capacity to be compassionate and caring toward others. It is with a great sense of gratitude that I embark upon this work, knowing that I am totally supported by a universe that always says yes. So I release myself into those waiting arms of the universe. I lean back and float upon this ocean of life, and so it is. In studying New Thought and the schools of thought and spirituality that have been influenced by it, we find this recurring theme of working toward loving and accepting oneself. On its face, this practice might seem either too woo-woo or too self-centered, depending on the particular beliefs and background of the person first encountering it. Some of us grew up believing that the only way to be good, the only way to be a moral person, is to be selfless to the point of neglecting our own interests. Others of us grew up believing that expressing emotions around vulnerability was tantamount to having some kind of problem. There must be something wrong with us if we are expressing things like "I love myself." It comes as little surprise then that the New Thought principle and practice of self-acceptance and self-love, which we can think of as self-compassion, might seem a little weird. However, when we consider the law of attraction, we understand that the reasoning behind the paramount importance of loving oneself. Consider the following passage from the Science of Mind textbook. It comes from chapter 18, which is on the subject of the law of attraction. Everyone automatically attracts to himself just what he is, and we may set it down that wherever we are, however intolerable the situation might be, we are just where we belong. There is no power in the universe but ourselves that can free us. Someone may help us on the road to realization, but substantially and permanence can come only through the consciousness of our own life and thought. Man must bring himself to the place where there is no misfortune, no calamity, no accident, no trouble, no confusion, where there is nothing but plenty, peace, power, life, and truth. He should definitely, daily, using his own name, declare the truth about himself, realizing he is reflecting his statements into consciousness, and that they will be operated upon by it. This is called in mysticism high invocation, invoking the divine mind, implanting within it seeds of thought relative to oneself. And this is why some of the teachers of olden times used to instruct their pupils to cross their hands over their chest and say, "Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful me," definitely teaching them that as they mentally held themselves, so they would be held. Act as though I am, and I shall be. So we see here that as we hold ourselves, we are held by the universe. The universe can only reflect back to us what we reflect into mind. We must also remember that if we are adamant that we only care for others and that we should neglect ourselves to be a good person, we are forgetting that old adage that is, love thy neighbor as thyself. We often forget the as thyself part of this edict. The truth is that we cannot truly love and care for another until we understand how to care for ourselves. We cannot come from a place of generativity or abundance if we believe that there isn't enough love and caring for us to take care of ourselves, and then also to extend this to others. And finally, we need to remember that the very act of imbalance between how we treat ourselves and how we treat others, whether this imbalance means that we are neglectful of ourselves or that we are cruel to others, means that we are laboring under the delusion of duality. It means that we're seeing a separation between ourselves and others, that we're seeing that this is me, that is them, and we are not connected. But the truth is that there is only unity, and so the very act of self-love, self-care, is a reminder that we are partaking of this one life, and that when we invest in it, in the context of our own health, our own happiness, it's the same as we are doing it for others. And indeed, charity must begin at home, meaning that we need to learn to take good, sustained care of ourselves in order to do it for other people in a way that is genuine and sustainable. Even if our acts are genuine toward other people, they are often not sustainable if we are not able to take good care of ourselves. Sooner or later, we'll burn out. So now that we know why self-compassion is an important spiritual principle, let's consider about how we can go about doing this. Of course, self-care and taking care of oneself is integral to this practice. Too often we think of self-care only as taking vacations or relaxing in some extravagant way. But the truth is that eating healthful foods, getting proper exercise, and sufficient sleep are ways of showing your self-care. The truth is that when we take walks in nature where we can quietly observe, or even simply walking around the neighborhood, walking around the house even, and choosing to quietly observe what is there, this is an act of self-care. Cooking a meal mindfully, any number of acts can be acts of self-care. It is truly the state of mind that we take into the action that transforms it. One of the great practices you can engage in is reminding yourself, labeling each act you take as one of self-care. Say to yourself, in doing this, I am showing tenderness and care to myself, and I know this is brought back to me as experience from a loving universe. Remind yourself of why you're doing this. In showing care to yourself, you are shown care. In showing care to yourself, you are building your capacity to share this with others as well. You are becoming a more well-balanced, kinder individual. Of course, affirmations, meditation, contemplation, relaxation, and forgiveness work are all informed by and also contribute to this spiritual practice of loving the self. So this week, consider how you can bring self-love into your other practices. Some affirmations to try out right now and use this week might include, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. I love and accept myself, and this is reflected back to me in all people, in all experiences, in every moment of my life. I love all expressions of life and am loved and supported by all expressions of life. I know that the more your self-love grows, the more your capacity grows to be part of the healing force that is healing this planet. And so it is.